Welcome to the Neuro Phoenix, where heart, mind, and soul rise together in balance, creating peace, contentment, and harmony in life. Every mind is unique, every journey is precious, and here we honor that truth. Hashtag every mind's journey from birth matters. So let's begin our journey. Today we're exploring a word we hear everywhere, but so often misunderstood. Burnout. It's not just being tired, it's a deep, draining experience that can reshape how we think, feel, and even who we believe we are. In this episode, we'll explore what burnout really is, beyond the buzzword, why it's not your fault, but often rooted in the workplace itself, the hidden costs, not just to companies, but to our health and even our brains, and how burnout uniquely impacts neurodivergent minds in ways rarely discussed. Because here's the truth, burnout isn't fixed with quick self-care tips. It requires reimagining the systems around us. It's about fixing the work, not just the worker. This episode is just one step in our HowtoMind series, a journey into understanding the mind, honoring its struggles, and unlocking its resilience. Together, we're building a movement to value every mind and every journey from birth.
Okay, let's talk about a word that, let's be honest, is everywhere these days: burnout. It's this feeling so many of us know intimately, but it's also really misunderstood. So today, we're gonna unpack what it actually is and explore this really powerful idea. What if the problem isn't you, but your job?
So does this sound familiar? That feeling of being totally and completely drained, of feeling more and more distant from your job, maybe even cynical about it, and on top of all that, you just feel like you're not getting anything done right? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. This is the classic trifecta of burnout.
And this isn't just a personal feeling, it's a massive economic issue. Just in the US, burnout is estimated to drive up to $190 billion in healthcare costs every single year. I mean, that's a staggering number. It's a huge red flag that this goes way beyond just having a few bad days at work. It's a full-blown public health crisis. And for companies, the cost is just as real. Employees who are burned out are 2.6 times more likely to be actively out there looking for a new job. Just think about that for a second. That's a constant, bleeding drain of talent, of knowledge, and of morale. It's this quiet crisis happening in workplaces everywhere. But the costs go so much deeper than just money and turnover. To really get what burnout is, we have to look at its hidden toll, what it's actually physically doing to our bodies and our brains. And this is where it gets really serious. Burnout is not just in your head, it physically changes your brain. Chronic stress can actually make your brain's fear center, the amygdala, bigger. It weakens the connection that helps you regulate your emotions, and it can even thin the part of your brain that handles decision-making and memory. It's wild. Okay, so with consequences that serious, we have to be super clear on what we're actually talking about. What is burnout officially? Because it's so much more than just being tired after a long week.
So here it is. This is the official definition from the World Health Organization. It's a syndrome with three key parts. First, total exhaustion. Second, that mental distance or cynicism about your job. And third, a drop in how effective you feel professionally. And you have to have all three for it to be burnout.
Now this right here, this is probably the single most important part of the WHO's entire classification. They call it an occupational phenomenon. They specifically do not call it a medical condition. And that language is so deliberate because it places the problem squarely where it belongs, in the workplace itself, not on the individual. It's not your fault.
All right, so if the workplace is the problem, what about the workplace is causing all this? Well, researchers have zeroed in on 6 specific areas where a mismatch between a person and their job can lead straight to burnout. According to the groundbreaking research by Christina Masloch, burnout is what happens when there's a major disconnect in these 6 key areas. We're talking about things like an impossible workload, having no control or say in your work, not getting enough reward or recognition, being in a toxic community, feeling like things are deeply unfair, or having your job clash with your personal values.
But here's the thing, this experience isn't exactly the same for everyone. For some people, burnout goes way beyond the job and just takes over their entire life. And this is especially true when we start talking about neurodiversity. And this is such a critical distinction to make. For a neurotypical person, Burnout is generally an occupational problem. It's about the job. But for a neurodivergent person, the chronic, relentless stress of just navigating a world that wasn't designed for them can lead to a burnout that is so much deeper, one that touches every single part of their life.
Yeah, just look at how different the drivers and symptoms are. Neurodivergent burnout often comes from things like the constant, exhausting effort of masking traits to fit in, or from intense sensory overload. And the result isn't just cynicism, it can be a profound loss of skills, things you used to be able to do, you just can't anymore, and a heightened sensitivity that makes everyday life incredibly difficult, not just work.
So once you understand all that, the old advice to just, do more yoga or take a vacation feels, well, completely off the mark, right? So how do we actually solve a problem this huge? The answer lies in a really radical shift in focus. We have to stop trying to fix the workers and start fixing the work.
The real solution has to come from two directions, but the priority has to be crystal clear. The systemic changes, things like actually redesigning jobs, making sure workloads are manageable, that's the primary fix. Individual stuff like mindfulness and self-care, that's secondary. It's essential for coping, for surviving, but it doesn't fix the root cause.
This analogy just says it all, doesn't it? When a company pushes a wellness app but does nothing about the crushing workload, it's like handing out life vests to people on the Titanic. Yeah, sure, the vest is essential to keep you from drowning right this second, but it does absolutely nothing to fix the giant hole in the ship.
And that really just leaves us with one final big question to think about. Take a hard look at your own job, your own workplace, and ask yourself this: are the people in charge trying to fix the ship, or are they just handing out life vests and hoping you can tread water long enough? The answer to that question tells you pretty much everything you need to know.
This episode is just one step in our HowtoMind series, a journey into understanding the mind, honoring its struggles, and unlocking its resilience. Together, we're building a movement to value every mind and every journey from births. If this resonates with you, please click the like button, subscribe for exclusive content, and join us in this movement. And here, we honor that truth. Hashtag every mind's journey from birth matters. For further exploration, book on Burnout by CJ NES. HowtoMind series episode on navigating grief, a guide for understanding loss by CJ Ness. Uplift song, Shall Rise Again by CJ Ness.